The purpose of this video is just to talk briefly about what a lien is, what a judgment lien is, and kind of how that gets involved with real property, how that gets attached to your property, and what you can kind of do if you find out that you have a lien attached to your home. If you're a subscriber of my page, good to see you, welcome back. If not, make sure you subscribe, like the video, comment. This really helps me get the information out to as many homeowners as possible. So a big question I get all the time is, what is a lien? So a lien means that some sort of creditor in this context has received a judgment against you, and they've taken that judgment and they've attached it to your home. That's what a lien is, right? A judgment just means that a creditor has sued you in some way in court, won the lawsuit against you, and they have a judgment in hand. A judgment is not necessarily a lien. A judgment holder, somebody who has a judgment, has to go through the court system in order to attach that judgment to your property. And once they do that, it becomes a lien. So a lien means that some sort of debt is attached to your home. And what that means is you cannot sell your home and you likely cannot refinance your home until that lien is taken care of. So that doesn't necessarily always affect loan modifications. This video is just kind of talking about what types of liens there are and kind of what your options are if you find out that you have a lien. Some people don't know that their property was liened. It could have happened a while back, but if you find out that you have a lien on your property, you kind of want to first understand what it's for. So the most common kind of judgment liens that I encounter that are attached to homeowners' homes are liens that stem from old kind of credit card debt, meaning you went into default on a credit card you had a while back, they received a judgment against you, and then they liened their home. Other kinds of liens on properties would be HOA liens, meaning at some point you defaulted to your homeowners association and they attached a lien. There are utility liens like sewer capacity charges, IRS tax liens. So if the federal government or the state government has a tax lien against you, they often attach that to the home. Personal judgments and criminal judgments sometimes can be attached to the home. And then we have LNI liens that can get attached to the home, and then different kinds of state tax warrants. So the way that you know that you have a lien attached to your home is you look at a title report of your property. You can pay a title company at any point to pull a title report for your home and show you this is what is attached to your home. If you have a mortgage, a title report will show your mortgage holder. If you have a second mortgage, it'll show your second mortgage holder. And then the title report will tell you these are the additional liens that you have against your property. So if you have this knowledge that you have a lien against the property, a common next question would be like, well, how do I get it off? What do I do? So typically the main answer is a lien has to be paid in order for it to be removed from title, meaning you have a creditor, they were owed money, the court said, yes, you were owed this money, and they have this lien attached to your home, so you can't do anything you want to do with your property until this creditor has been paid. So most commonly people, if they sell their home, they pay the lien off at closing, and then the creditor does what's called issuing a lien release, where once they're paid, they remove the lien from the home. That's kind of how it goes. You typically have to pay them. But a lot of times these judgments and liens can be negotiable, especially if the type of judgment is a credit card judgment or if the lien has been around for a long time. So your first step, if you find out you have a lien, is to figure out who the creditor is. Hopefully it's the same creditor that is showing on the title report, but a lot of times, especially if it's old credit card debt, creditors change over time. So you want to make sure you find out who is actually servicing this debt, and then you want to contact them and ask them to send you a payoff statement or a statement telling you how much is owed. So step one is locate the creditor and find out how much you owed. Then you want to figure out what's going on with your property. If your property has a ton of money in it, if it has a ton of equity in it, your creditor might not be willing to negotiate with you because they know that if you sell the home in any way or refinance in any way, there's enough money to pay them. So you want to kind of talk with an attorney to find out what are my chances at getting this lien settled. The more equity you have in the property, the chances are greater that the lien holder will not work with you, but I still have been able to settle many old credit card judgments with equity in the property because as this debt gets sold between servicers, the new servicers buy them for less and less, and so the amount that they need to feel profitable goes down. So this can all sound complicated. You probably want to take your specific situation to somebody and just lay it out in front of them. But step one is find the creditor, and then step two is have a conversation to find out, is this something I can negotiate? Certain types of liens are not really negotiable. You cannot negotiate with the IRS. You typically cannot negotiate with the state. Government entities who are owed money will want all of their money paid. So if you have a state tax warrant or a federal tax lien, or the Department of Labor and Industries has placed a lien on your home, negotiating with them is likely not going to be a good idea. Conversely, if you have a homeowners association that just kind of wants to get the issue resolved, if you have a credit card judgment that's attached, if the credit card judgment has been sold to many different servicers, the chances of you paying them off for less than it's owed go up. So you want to kind of make that determination. You then want to understand your timeline needs. So if you're dealing with a lien because you want to sell your home, you might not want to negotiate with the creditor. Negotiations with creditors can take, on the fast end 30 days, on the longer end 60 to 90 days. If you're just looking to complete a sale and you have money in your home, maybe it's worth more for you to just complete the sale and pay them off. If you're doing something like a short sale, or if you do not have equity in your property, you definitely want to be negotiating these liens down, because that creditor, if the home goes to foreclosure and there's not enough money in the home, that creditor might not be paid. So there's all these different things to consider. If your property is underwater and you have liens attached, you need to be negotiating those liens or partnering with someone who can negotiate those liens for you. And then the question becomes kind of, how do you negotiate a lien? I would recommend at this point speaking with an attorney. Real generally, you want to understand what a good offer is in your particular situation. Different kinds of liens have different kinds of good offer kind of guidelines. You'll want to talk to somebody about what you have going on. You also want to make sure that you don't present financial information until you have to. Creditors always want to see your financial information, especially if they're like a credit card judgment holder, because they want to see if you actually have enough money to pay them. So if you are going to start negotiating a lien on your own, you want to tell them kind of that you're having a financial hardship, and you don't want to over present information. You want to just tell them, here's my offer, and then go back and forth with them with this counter offer part of the negotiation. But you don't want to be over providing financial information. You don't want to be negotiating against yourself by showing them that you have a bunch of money. There's a ton of kind of nuanced stuff that goes into negotiation. Oftentimes I have my clients write a hardship letter where they detail everything that they've been through, and they detail, how they would like to resolve the matter. And then you always want to make a very low offer first, right? You expect all creditors to say no to your first offer. So depending on what your balance is, offer them a very, very small amount of money. Typically the creditors will say no to your offer, but they might drop down a little bit. And then the goal is that you kind of want to meet in the middle, where you receive a reduction in what you have to pay and they feel like they're being paid enough to release the lien. So there's a lot to negotiations. You definitely want to partner with somebody if you have this going on. But the point of this video is just to help you understand, if someone tells you you have a lien attached to the property, you want to figure out who it's with, how much is owed, how much you have in the home, and what your negotiation position is that you're bringing to the table. And then you can kind of decide whether you should just pay them off or whether you should entertain a negotiation. Good luck.